All right, so moving on to the final side, we're going to pivot over here to the world of wrestling inside the WWE world, and I'll be sharing my WWE WrestlePalooza PLE Summer. So I'll be going over all 5 of the matches that took place on the WrestlePalooza card. Starting off with the opener, you had Brock Lesnar defeat John Cena. Now, I was honestly very disappointed watching this match between John Cena and Brock Lesnar. I thought we were all going to see something better than a squash match. And yes, Brock Lesnar is one of John Cena's toughest rivals of John Cena's illustrious WWE career. But the fact that we recreated a match that we seen already happen at SummerSlam 2014 where Brock Lesnar just massacred and dominated John Cena. I mean, we saw that 11 years ago. Why are we reenacting that match? We don't need John Cena's final appearances and his final 7-6 appearances being squashed by the hands of the beast incarnate Brock Lesnar. So Cena had little to no offense in this match. He probably had a comeback set that he hit on Brock Lesnar and an mini comeback with 3 AAs in the match. Other than that, this was all Brock Lesnar. It was a massacre. It was just like SummerSlam 2014 without the several suplexes when Suplex City was created in SummerSlam 2014. But it just makes me think, moving forward, how did this benefit either wrestler moving forward? We know Brock Lesnar is the beast incarnate. We already know he is a wrecking ball, one of the best athletes in the company's history. So did this massacre really make Brock Lesnar look stronger in his return? Meanwhile, for John Cena, we have 5 appearances left. So you just wasted one of them against Brock Lesnar in a squash match. Respectfully, this was one of John Cena's worst matches of his retirement tour. And I get it. I know John Cena, the story is John Cena can never figure out a way to really get over on Brock Lesnar, even though he's defeated him twice. But damn, if you're going to make John Cena lose the match, make him look good and losing effort, not get squashed and buried by Brock Lesnar. We've already seen that in the past. You're just wasting moments and opportunities for others that could have shared the ring with John Cena during his retirement tour. AJ Styles, again, Dominic Mysterio, Gunther, Drew McIntyre. There's so many other people that would have benefited in a spot sharing the ring with John Cena during one of his final dates of his retirement tour. You just wasted his 6th final appearance having him in a squash match against Brock Lesnar. Mind you, this is after the fact that he just became a 17-time WWE champion. So, WWE, what are we doing here? And I just have several questions after this match. Is Brock Lesnar reunited with Paul Heyman? Because Paul Heyman introduced Brock Lesnar during the moments before the match, I should say. And what will John Cena do with 5 appearances left? 5 appearances, and this is it. You can't waste 5 more appearances. So are we heading into a possible War Games match with John Cena and Brock Lesnar on opposing teams? Are we really going to run back John Cena and Brock Lesnar for Cena's final match in his WWE career after this squash match? For Cena to get retribution on Brock Lesnar? I think that would be a waste of time. But with only 5 appearances left, I think this is an honest, unfortunate possibility. So very disappointed how this match went between John Cena and Brock Lesnar. Was definitely expecting more, but it was Brock Lesnar who squashed and dominated John Cena in the opener of WrestlePalooza. Next match, you had some tag team action. You had Divisions, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed defeat the Usos in tag team action. Now, this was a pretty solid tag team match, which had a 5th factor to the match, other than the 4 other wrestlers. The 5th factor was LA Knight as the special guest referee. Knowing that LA Knight was a special guest referee, he's been butting heads with Jey Uso, and he obviously hates the vision of Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker that work for Seth Rollins. So he just basically let anything happen. I mean, there were weapons being used. He let each of these teams beat the hell out of each other, the pillar to post, as long as the tag team match lasted. So it was some good tag team action. All 4 wrestlers did get a chance to shine in the match. And there was action everywhere. The spots were pretty good. You had the 3D by the Usos, one of the best tag team finishers in the game today. You had the Swanton Bomb that Jimmy Uso hit in midair. You also had the Uso Splash that Jey Uso hit on Braun Breaker that got a really good near fall pop by the WWE crowd that was in Indianapolis attending the event. But Braun Breaker, to end the match, Braun Breaker speared both Jimmy and Jey, the Usos, through the table for Bronson Reed to hit the Tsunami Splash. They helped the Vision win the tag team match over the Usos. Now, I also noticed towards the end of the match, and so did the rest of the WWE Universe, that Jey Uso actually hit Braun Breaker with the chair. And when he hit Braun Breaker in the back with the chair actually ricocheted and split open Jey Uso in multiple areas on his forehead. And he was just gushing blood. He was bleeding like a stuffed pig, paying homage to what Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler used to say back in the heyday with each other. But you could tell that Jey Uso was panicking. He might be out of action for a little bit with a concussion. We'll see as the weeks go on. But I thought it was a solid tag team match with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker defeating the Usos in tag team action. Now, next match, you had Stephanie Valkyrie defeat Io Sky to win the vacant Women's World Championship. Now, round of applause for Stephanie Valkyrie and Io Sky. They stole this show. This was clearly the best match of the night of the WrestlePalooza card. These two, I want to see more in-ring action between Stephanie Valkyrie and Io Sky. They honestly have great in-ring chemistry together. And sometimes it's best for business in the wrestling industry where you have two beloved baby faces that are loved by the crowd. Stephanie Valkyrie is a fan favorite. Io Sky is a fan favorite. I think the WWE, with the roster that they have, it's not a bad idea to keep running babyface versus babyface matchups with the roster that you have. So it worked here. But the spots were good. You had Io Sky hit the suicide dive on Stephanie Valkyrie on the outside of the ring, with Stephanie Valkyrie hitting the crossbody splash to the outside of the ring. The famous Devil's Kiss, we know that's famous for Stephanie Valkyrie. The Spanish Fly that was hit. There were some good grappling exchanges in this wrestling match as well between the two respective ladies. But also some great near falls. The finisher with Stephanie Valkyrie hitting that top rope finisher. I don't know what you call that, but that was spectacular. What I've seen from Stephanie Valkyrie. But Stephanie Valkyrie, we got to give her flowers and her credit, because she's only been with the company for for a year now. And she's already been a big part of the women's division. Already got a huge push over on NXT when she was with NXT. She became a double champion. First ever NXT Women's Champion, NXT North American Champion to hold both respective titles. And now, 7-8 months into her main roster run, she's already a Women's World Champion. So she's definitely going to be booked very strongly, a part of the Raw Women's Division. But definitely was great to see Stephanie Valkyrie win the vacant Women's World Championship here. Next match, you had mixed tag team action. You had CM Punk and AJ Lee defeat Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Now, honestly thought this was a really good mixed tag team match. A shout out to Tyson Kidd, former WWE in-ring talent that produced this match. He's a really good producer backstage and deserves his flowers and his credit for producing this great mixed tag team match. First half of the match, it felt like a tag team match with the heels in control of the match. They were really isolating AJ Lee for being a part of the action since she hasn't been in the ring for 10 years. Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins were isolating CM Punk, making him take punishment and not letting AJ Lee into the tag team match. But there was some unique chemistry with these four wrestlers, and I wouldn't be mad if we seen this mixed tag team match again someday. But they all shined in this tag team match. I mean, I like the sliced bread move that CM Punk and AJ Lee hit, both hitting Shining Wizards together. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch hitting pedigrees on CM Punk and AJ Lee. CM Punk locking in the sharpshooter on Becky Lynch, who has slapped his face around the planet over the last few weeks on WWE television. And with AJ Lee hitting Seth Rollins' finishing curve stomp onto Seth Rollins to break up a tag team pin. Guys, I was really a fan with this action, but AJ Lee locking in her finishing submission move, forcing Becky Lynch to submit, who is the Women's Intercontinental Champion. It looks like those two will go off to the side and do their own feuding over the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And like I said, if AJ Lee becomes a new Women's Intercontinental Champion, that brings so much lineage to that title that's only been around for under a year. So I'm excited for what we're going to see between these four respective wrestlers moving forward on the Red Brand of Monday Night Raw. And in the main event, you had Cody Rhodes defeat Drew McIntyre to successfully retain his WWE Championship. Now, this was honestly a really good match. The problem is, I do hope that Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre's rivalry continues. It was a good match, don't get me wrong, but I do have complaints here. One, Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre is honestly one of the biggest feuds that the WWE could have had for a very long time. The beloved babyface, the new face of the company, Cody Rhodes, against Drew McIntyre, who's one of the best heels on the main roster. This has been a feud that fans have been wanting for a long time. when you finally get the feud, you only have a few weeks to build the program. And I know Cody Rhodes was filming and he wasn't around on WWE television, and his daughter, a new child, was born for him. But that still doesn't have a counter argument of why the lackluster build between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre really played the way that it did. Plus, you had Randy Orton being a factor on SmackDown, intertwining in this story, and you didn't have Randy Orton a part of the main event of WrestlePalooza. Triple H said we're in store for surprises. What surprise did we really get on the card? And from the rumors that I've seen, it really should have been Randy Orton who accidentally costed Cody Rhodes the WWE Championship, trying to assist his friend Cody Rhodes to retain the title, only for Drew McIntyre to pick up the scraps and Drew McIntyre win the WWE Championship. Then you could have had a feud on the Blue Brand of SmackDown with Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, and Randy Orton feuding over the WWE Championship. And possibly that could lead to Randy Orton losing it and officially turning heel again, being the Viper, the Apex Predator again. But I don't know. I felt like WrestlePalooza, the letter grade I'm going to give it, guys, a C. And ESPN was very critical of how this event went. It felt overwhelming to watch. I really felt like this was just an average PLE. And this was a bad start with your new partnership with ESPN. I thought they would have came out better than this. And other than that Stephanie Valkyrie and Io Sky match, and you could throw in the CM Punk and AJ Lee mixed tag team match. Other than those two, I don't think this card is really anything to ever go back and watch ever again, to be honest with you guys. But I think WWE needs to go back to the drawing board. They need to be more creative, take more time to build up feuds, and not be money hungry with TKO. We got to invest in what the fans want rather than what's benefiting you guys in your pockets, because that could be good for now, but eventually fans will get tired of it and they'll try to go watch wrestling on different other platforms. But that's my WWE WrestlePalooza summary. That is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, signing off. And I'll see you guys on next week's episode.